Namo Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Desatarine Nikate Advaita Srini Vasa Chatradhara Ki Babosi Ache Gaurachan Ratna Shimashane Arati Korena Kipava Koti Chandrajini Adana Ujjala Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Thai Gora Hari Bol Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Hari Gopala Hare Listen Jaya Nanda Nandana Shama Hare Jaya Jaya Nanda Nandana Shama Hare Jaya Krishna Hari Jaya Rama Hari Jaya Jaya Nanda Nandana Shama Hare Jaya Jaya Nanda Nandana Shama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Kishore Kishori, Kishore Kishori, Jaya. Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gauraha. Oh, glorious Shishiguru and Shiguranga.
Namaste Narase Maine Hiranyakashi Purvachaha Hiranyakashi Purvachaha Shinatanka Narsimha Parato Narsimha Narsimha Parato Narsimha Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Bol Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai, Jai, Jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome everyone to the Sunday Feast program. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Shri Shri Kishore Kishori ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subramani ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai. So Sunday Feast program, it will end at 6:30 as we used to do before the phase 1 opening of the temple. Again, if the situation proves, we will come to the whole program a little later. So for now, what will happen is we had the kirtan. Now we'll have a Sunday feast talk, and then at 6:30 the program will end, and we'll have prasadam boxes ready outside for you to pick up. Right. A few announcements before we start anything. We will like to read a quote from our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He says, this is a letter to one of his disciples. He says, when fortune, yeah. So that's what. So we are also running a lot of other programs. You have chances to register there. Don't miss this opportunity. This is, devotees are spending some time to take these classes for your, for knowledge sharing and everything. And it is very nice. It is at your comfort. At the is in UK while he was doing his business. I'm here. So, but he is spiritual education. And he's very prominent teacher, and all the kids probably already know him. And he also takes a lot of kids classes during the Bhakti Rikshas that go in the suburbs. So this is first time he's giving Sunday feast. So yes, I know he'll do a fantastic job, but please do encourage him for this. And also, whoever has come for the first time, can you raise their hands? Okay, first timers. Oh, there are a lot more. So we don't have that many books, but we'll get the books. Can you keep your hands raised? And we will give. She will give out the books to you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं गणा ललिता श्रीसिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिकृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां नित्यानन्दा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण राम 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 and also of all the assembly. And if I say something useful, all the credit goes to my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and the Guru Parampara. So, and it is my honor and privilege to be. And that key, as we'll come to know, is Vaishnav Seva. So, we often think that what will make us happy? Maybe if we get a lot of money, we become very rich, we get a lot of power, or we become very famous, we have a lot of name and fame, maybe these things will make us happy. But here is the answer from someone who has had all of this, and he says that's not the answer. So we'll try to find out today that what really is that will make us happy. What does the soul really want? So actually what the soul wants is two things: to love unconditionally and to be loved unconditionally. Those two things. Nothing else. Everything else material is just for the body. The soul basically only needs these two things because that is what the soul is designed. If I just speak to that's nothing basically. And the best example of that in the material world is the love between mother and child. That is the purest form of love that I can think of right now. Because the mother loves the child unconditionally without expecting anything in return. So it is not like a business transaction that I love you and you love me back, or I give you something and I should get something back in return. It's just pure unconditional love without any expectation. So that is the kind of love that the soul is looking for. Unconditional pure love. And that love is expressed through service. So the point that I'm trying to make is that the souls are designed to serve. Our constitutional position is to serve. So now the question is that, okay, our constitutional position is to serve and to love unconditionally. But who do we serve? Who do we serve? In a way, we are already serving someone or the other in the material world. But is that making us happy? It is not really making us happy. So there are two options. Either we voluntarily serve the Lord with love and could be our senses. We just may become slave to our senses. Whatever the senses demand, we'll end up fulfilling that. Or we may end up serving some thankless bosses at work, people who make us work a lot and don't really appreciate and give back in return what we deserve for that work. Or a businessman might be serving some thankless customer. And people may also serve their country. They may do some social service. They may serve their family. And better than just serving the senses, end up serving the opposite of that. So God and Dog. We see that a lot in this country. Like people keep pets and they serve their dogs because that propensity to love and serve is there. It cannot go away. So we will definitely end up serving and loving someone. Now if we avoid God, if we ignore God, we will ending serving someone like a pet or some family member, like our boss, our work, then why do we need any other middleman? And the answer is because Lord Krishna himself advises us to approach his pure devotees. We are not pure enough to be able to listen to the voice of the Paramatma which is coming from inside. Because there are two voices. There is also a voice of the rascal mind which comes at the same time. And they both sound exactly the same. So anyone who is not pure devotee, pure advanced devotee, neophyte cannot distinguish between the voice of the Paramatma and the voice of the rascal mind. So that is why we need, and we are in material bodies, so we need someone external who is also like in material bodies, who can help us in a way that we can easily get with the material senses, who can talk to us and we can hear with these material ears. So here is a shlok from Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna is actually telling Arjuna what needs to be done. So he says, Jnani nas tattva darshina. So the translation is, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. These self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So the word which the Lord uses is tattva darshina, which means seers of the truth. And who are the seers of the truth? They are the devotees. Because only the devotees are the ones who by the grace of the Lord can see the absolute truth. The absolute forming pure devotional service. Because again, this material world is designed in a way that the Lord has not revealed himself openly to everyone. Because if he does, there would be no atheists here. Because this world is designed for souls who were rebellious and who wanted to enjoy independent of the Lord, to fulfill their desires, he has concealed himself from them. He cannot be easily seen. But the pure devotees are tattva darshina, they can see. And because they can see, they can tell about him to others who cannot see. So sannyasis are not required to travel and they are advised to stay in one place. So they were staying in this place where this maidservant's son had the opportunity to serve them. And just by serving them, they gave him some instructions before leaving, and he used to eat their remnants. Whatever foodstuffs was left by them, he would eat that. And then he would take instructions from them. And by that, he became such a great devotee that he is actually an empowered incarnation of God. He is listed as one of the incarnations of God because he was originally a jiva, so no jiva can actually become God. But he is in the category of Shakti Avesha avatars, which means empowered incarnation. So they are ordinary jivas, but the Lord, the service to devotees is, and that is how the devotional service to the Lord begins. It begins by serving the devotees, by taking instructions from them. So this is a very relevant and very potent example that we all can always remember when it comes to understanding the importance of serving the devotees. Now again, Lord Krishna himself confirms. Here he is talking to, in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 19th chapter. He is talking to his dear friend and cousin Uddhava. So he has very intimate relationship with Uddhava. He talks to Uddhava in such a way that he does not talk to anyone else in that way. There are only few people like Arjun, Uddhav, because when we are very intimately close to someone, only then we can say and do some things very directly. Other people who don't know us so well can usually misinterpret what we are saying, and they may not get the substance and the the main substance and the main gist of what we are trying to say. They may try to concoct different meanings, or they may think, why is he saying that? What is the intention behind? But someone who we completely trust and who trusts us, they will easily understand. So he talks to Uddhava in such a way that he can directly tell him that my devotee needs to do XYZ things. He cannot say that to someone else. Like if he says to someone else, my devotee needs to pay obeisances to me. Someone who is first class worship of my devotees. So Lord is clearly saying himself that worship my devotees. You don't even need to directly worship me. If you have the association of my devotees, worship them. That is as good as worshipping me. And that will give you all the benefits that you will get by worshipping me. In fact, it is said, it can give even more benefit and faster than directly worshipping the God. So here, next slide tells that service to devotees is greater than direct service to Lord. Hard to digest, right? It's a little hard to digest. How can service be devotees greater than direct service to the Lord? But again, that is Lord Krishna directly telling. So we have to believe it. In the Adi Puran, there is a statement where Lord Krishna is talking to Arjuna and he's saying, "My dear Partha, one who claims to be my devotee is not so. Only a person who claims to be the devotee of my devotee is actually my devotee." So that is how it works. It works in a guru parampara. No one can directly easily approach the Lord. One has to approach the Lord through his devotees. And when we become completely surrendered devotee of Krishna's devotee, then we become eligible to call ourselves devotee of Krishna. So the first step is to become devotee of a devotee. Now this is Lord Krishna directly telling Arjuna, and also the similar thing is told in Padma Puran by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati. He is saying, "My dear Parvati, there are different methods of worship, and out of all such methods, the worship of the Supreme Person is considered to be the highest. But even higher than the worship of the Lord is the worship of the Lord's devotees." So now these are the topmost personalities, Lord Vishnu, Krishna himself, Lord Shiva. They are all saying that worship of the devotees of the Lord is higher than directly worshipping the Lord. And one thing we need to understand is that these pure devotees of the Lord, they are not ordinary. We cannot take their service lightly, thinking that, oh, when it comes to serving the Lord, then we will put in our best effort, but serving the devotees, okay, we can be a little relaxed and it can be easy. It is not. Here is an example. Two examples, sorry. Than the Lord, but the devotees are as good as Lord, if not greater. And the Lord is so kind that he makes them look even greater than himself. Here are two examples, like Lord Hanuman. He could simply cross and jump over the ocean to Lanka from Tamil Nadu, right? He did not need any other assistance. Whereas Lord Ram, he had to make a bridge with the help of the other monkeys. So here Lord Ram is trying to show how great his devotee is. His devotee is even greater than him. He has to take the assistance of his devotees to make a bridge and then cross, whereas the devotee can just directly cross. Another example from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto is the story of Ambarish Maharaj. So Ambarish Maharaj again was a great devotee of the Lord, and somehow some situation so happened that Durvasa Muni, who was a visiting guest at Ambarish Maharaj's palace, he got offended without any good reason, basically. So Durvasa Muni is known to be a very angry and easily offended sage. So he got offended for some reason that Maharaj Ambarish had to open his, the fast is not considered to be complete. Now Durvasa Muni had gone to take a bath, and he was not coming back on time. It was clear that if Ambarish Maharaj waited for him, he would miss the time to open the fast. So he took the advice of his Brahminic ministers, who told will be complete, and at the same time you would not have eaten before your guest has eaten, so you will not offend your guest also. So he took that advice and he took water. But when Durvasa Muni came back and he came to know about this, he became angry. Now there is no good reason, but that's how Durvasa Muni's pastimes are. So he became angry and he cursed and said offendable things to Maharaj Ambarish. Now because of that, Lord Krishna became so angry because his devotee was being disturbed and offended. So the devotees are so dear to the Lord. He became so angry that he released his Sudarshan Chakra. And Durvasa Muni was also a very powerful sage, but he ran for his life. He could not counteract the Sudarshan Chakra. And he tried his best to convince the Lord to forgive him. He was so powerful that he could directly approach the Lord. So he approached him and he said, "Please forgive me. I agree it is my mistake. I should have not spoken like that, but please save my life. Please call back your Sudarshan Chakra." But the Lord said, "I cannot do anything right now." So the Lord expressed himself to be unable to save Durvasa Muni. Although the Muni was so powerful that he could reach the Lord directly under material conditions, But Durvasa Muni was saved by Maharaj Ambarish, a devotee of the Lord. The Lord could not save him. The Lord refused. He says, it's not in my control anymore. You have offended a devotee, you have to seek forgiveness from that same devotee. I cannot forgive you. So he had to seek the forgiveness of Ambarish Maharaj. And when Ambarish Maharaj forgave him, only then he was saved. Only then the Sudarshan Chakra stopped. So that's how important the Lord's reward. And by that they have like completely won the heart of the Lord. They are so dear to the Lord that the Lord his magnanimity, that he gives so much importance to his devotees. So we all have, most of us who are from Indian backgrounds would have seen the picture of Lord Krishna driving the chariot of Arjuna. So that is like a menial position he has taken, right? He has become like a driver of someone. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. All the universes are actually his creation. All the entire spiritual world, material world, everything is his creation. And he has taken such a menial position that he has become a chariot driver. And when someone is driving chariot, everyone may not be aware that when there is a war and the person is busy shooting arrows, if he has to tell the chariot driver to move or to turn in a particular direction, they would kick the driver in a particular direction to tell him that go this way or go that way or stop or move. So he was ready to take kicks of Arjuna on his back all the time. Such a menial position. Why? Out of love. Because the devotees are selfless servants of the Lord. They are ready to do anything for the Lord. And they are pure. They are without any material desires. Their only desire is to serve the Lord with love. And so the Lord also reciprocates in the same way. So this is the Lord's reciprocation. Another example is Sudama. He was a great friend of Lord Krishna. And when Sudama, after so many years, went to anyone as God or as somebody junior or senior, they were like all equals. But when Lord Krishna, after some years, went to Dwarka and actually became the king of Dwarka, Sudama was hesitant to go to him. And he was thinking, how can I go? I used to treat him in such a way as if he was, somebody normal person. I used to talk to him so harshly. My behavior was so rash. How will he even react to me if he remembers all that? How I treated him when we were young boys. He is the king of Dwarka now. So he was very hesitant, but somehow he was forced by his wife to go and ask for help. So he went. And when he went, he was surprised to see that Lord Krishna actually welcomed him as if he was some great guest and actually washed his feet. So this is an example, this is another example which shows how great the Lord's devotees attracts Krishna more than service to him directly. So an example of this is like grandchildren are more dear to the grandparent rather than his own children, even though they are like one step further away from him. But the grandchildren are much more dearer. So that is one way to understand that how come devotees of devotees are more and more dearer to Krishna and not directly his service or not directly his devotee. So the more we go down in disciplic chain, it's not that we are moving away from Krishna. Actually, we are even attracting him more. So last Sunday was Varha Dwadashi, the appearance day of Lord Varha. So I was asked to touch upon this topic. So I was thinking about it and reading, and I saw that actually even what Lord Varha is doing is service to his devotees. In fact, in any incarnation, what the Lord does is protecting his devotees, serving his devotees, and killing the demons. Now, that killing the demon part he can do even with his Sudarshan Chakra. He doesn't need to come, or even just by glancing at them, he can kill them. Just even by thinking that this demon should be killed, he would be killed. So he doesn't really need to incarnate and take all that pains to do that. But he comes for loving exchanges with his devotees. That is why he comes. So in this pastime, we see what was happening was that Lord Brahma was trying to create the material worlds, And his initial four sons, the four Kumaras, refused that we don't want to get into this material entanglement. So then he created more sons. So the first son was Manu Maharaj. Manu Maharaj, he said, okay, I agree that I will horse. He is the CEO of a company. He becomes a horse and he lets the child ride over him. That doesn't mean that he is not the CEO anymore or he has become like a menial horse. He is still the CEO. But he just takes that position out of love for his child. So in the same way, out of love for his devotees, the Lord has taken such a peculiar incarnation, seemingly peculiar from material perspective. So that's the greatness of the Lord. Now, I'll try to wrap up. Here are some conclusions from great personalities about Vaishnav Seva, about service to the devotees. Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 32nd verse says, one cannot become the Lord's pure devotee without taking the dust of a great devotee on his head. Pad Rajo Abhishekam. Rajo means the dust. A pure devotee is Nishkinchana. He has no material desire to enjoy the material world. One has to take shelter of such a pure devotee in order to attain his qualities. The pure devotee is always free from the clutch. Lord, kindly give me the shelter of your very dear devotee, so that I may engage in his service and you may then be pleased. So by engaging in the service of your devotee, I would be pleasing you. So he's not asking for direct service. He's asking for the service to a very dear devotee of the Lord. And may not be aware about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was none other than Lord Krishna, who came in the mood of a devotee in West Bengal, in Bharat, around 550 years ago. So he came just anyone as a devotee of the Lord. So Sanu Dasaha, which means one should not be proud of becoming directly the servant of the Supreme. Engage oneself in the service of such a servant. The more one becomes the servant of the servant, the more one becomes perfect in devotional service. That is the conclusion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 22nd chapter, 51 verse, he again says, this is Lord Chaitanya speaking directly. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. Which means, he's saying, forget about devotional service, which is actually a higher platform. We cannot get devotional service, pure devotional service cannot be attained until we are at a platform of liberation. So liberation, which some people think of as the ultimate destination, moksha. We think moksha is the highest destiny. It is not. Even higher than that is Krishna Bhakti. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that forget about Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even get liberated unless he gets the favor of a pure devotee of the Lord. So that is how the system has been designed by Lord Krishna. So it is like a referral system. Just like here in America, to get into a university, we need referrals of some professors and some eminent people sometimes. So to get into the spiritual world, and now it would be very extreme statement to say that this is a hard requirement, because the Lord is supremely independent, and if he wants, he can do anything. He can take anyone, anytime into the spiritual world. But still, the system he has designed, and he mostly follows that system, because unless someone has proved that, he would not be given entry. So just like if I want to drive on the roads of America, I need to first prove that I'm a good driver. I need to pass a test. So the government has put in some people who would test me whether I can actually drive or not. If they pass me, then I get the license and I can drive on the road. So in the same way, the pure devotees of the Lord, unless a pure devotee of the Lord has approved someone to be good enough to directly associate with the Lord, he would not get the chance to directly associate with the Lord and serve. So that is why the service to the pure devotees is an essential requirement. Those of you who might have visited Vrindavan might have heard Radhe Radhe being spoken there a lot. Not so much Krishna Krishna, but Radhe Radhe. That is the mood of Brajvasis in Vrindavan, because they know that Radharani is the topmost devotee and it is easier to approach her. And by her reference, we can easily get the mercy of Krishna. We cannot directly get the mercy of Krishna. And that is why in even the rickshaw walas there, the taxi drivers, rickshaw walas, they all say Radhe Radhe if they want to tell someone to get out of the way. So that is the mood of Rajvasis in Vrindavan. Service to the devotee, Radharani, is greater than service to Lord Krishna. So I will try to wrap up quickly. Here is one pastime of Lord Varadaraja in Kanchipurna that I would like to share, which is very relevant to this topic. So Kanchipurna is a famous city in South Bharat. That is like one of the hubs of Sri Sampradaya. And there was a great devotee with the name of Kanchipurna who used to live there and serve the deity there. That deity of Lord Vishnu is called Varadaraja. Here is a picture of the deity. So this devotee Kanchipurna was so advanced and dear to the Lord that Lord was so much impressed by him. I don't know if impressed is the right word, but he was so dear to the Lord that the Lord would directly talk to him, just like you and I can talk. The Lord would actually talk to him. Again, it's a little hard to digest, but that is how it is. There are so many people who knew that. In fact, he was so famous that people from all over the village would come to him and ask him questions that please ask Lord Varadaraja on our behalf. I want this such and such thing to be done. What should I do? Or will I get something? What is my future? Different things. When will I get liberated? So people would generally go to him with such questions. He would ask Lord Varadaraja and he would answer, and then he would tell the people. So how he became so dear to the Lord was he used to serve the Lord with he had this fanning service. He used to all the day keep fanning the Lord from day till night. So the Lord became very close to him because of that intimate service. So many people would come and ask him, and he would help them find the answers from the Lord. Now there was one devotee who was serving this sage Kanchipurna. Every time when it would be night time and he had to go back home, he would stay there, wait for him to come out of the temple, and then help him go back home carrying a light lamp, like a oil lamp for him, so that he could say the way. So that was the service this devotee was doing every day. So he requested Kanchipurna that, can you please ask Lord Varadaraja, when will I get liberated? When will I go back to his abode? Is it possible that I can go in this lifetime? So Kanchipurna asked, and the Lord told him that yes, he will go in this very lifetime. Because he is serving you. You are my devotee and he is serving you. So he will go back in this very lifetime. So Kanchipurna became happy and he told him, but then he got curious someday. He thought, I've been asking about everyone and I think I will go in this lifetime, but still let me ask the Lord just to confirm. So he asked the Lord, and the Lord said, no, you are not going back in this lifetime. And he was shocked. And he said, why? I have been serving you so nicely. He said, but the Lord said, you have not served my devotee. You have been serving me directly, but you have never ever served any of my devotees. So you are not going back in this life. He gave that into the hands of the Lord and he said, okay, I am going. You can do this yourself. And he went and he tried to find some devotees whom he could serve. But no one would take his service because everyone say, you are such a great devotee. Lord Varadaraja directly talks to you. How can we let you serve us? To disguise himself as a cowherd and then go to the house of one of his god brothers, disguised. No one knew his identity, and there he served his cows for some time in his gaushala. So that went on for a few months, and then he had only one set of white clothes which he used to wear. So he went inside his rooms, changed to his saffron clothes, and he thought, anyway it's raining, I cannot do anything outside, let me just sit and chant. So he was chanting, and his god brother became worried that where is that servant? He serves so nicely, but let me see if he's all right. It is raining so heavily, where he is, I don't know. So he went to see and he saw, oh, this is Kanchipurna. And again, now he was surprised and he said, you have cheated me and you've I don't know what sin I will get. I was taking your service for so many days this cannot happen anymore, and please leave. So then when Kanchipurna returned back to Lord Varadaraja, then he said, okay, now you have served my pure devotee, so now you can go back in this lifetime. So this pastime again proves that even other Vaishnav Sampradayas, so this is a general concept in all the Vaishnav Sampradayas, one has to serve the devotees. Service to neophyte devotees is important and valuable. Because devotees are devotees, we must serve all kind of devotees, and also by serving, if an advanced devotee teaching, that neophyte devotee gets that how kind and how great the Lord would be. So the neophyte devotee's attraction for the Lord increases. Here is an example of Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, who was such an advanced devotee. When he came to America in 1960s, he had no disciples, he had no money, he had no resources. So he used to single-handedly cook and serve all the hippies, all the drug addicts in New York City. He took the position of personally cook up, he would do everything. And then later, slowly, those hippies got inspired that this old man is doing so much for us, we should help him, we should serve him back. So his act of service acted like a preaching for those neophyte devotees. And I have also had that personal experience, so I can say this from my personal experience and get so much more attraction for the Lord. So serving neophyte devotees is as important as serving the advanced devotees. And a lot of tapasya done, spiritual pious accumulated to get the service of a pure devotee. We can get service of devotees, but to get the service of the pure devotee is not easy. One has to have some tapasya done previously, some pious credits. So those of us who have not yet had the opportunity to serve a pure devotee should try to perform some tapasya, make our lives austere, and pray to the Lord to give us the opportunity to keep performing service to the pure devotees. So I pray that all of us here somehow very soon get the opportunity to serve pure devotees, if not already received. So I'll try to conclude here. Here are some conclusions and practical realizations about serving devotees. One is that serving the devotees is as good as serving the Lord directly, and we learn even better. They teach us not just by words, but also by example. When we are in close association by the devotees and we are serving them, we learn from them. By their love and mercy, they enhance the faith of neophyte devotees. They correct us when we go wrong in our service. First of all, they engage us in the service of the Lord. And then if we go wrong, they correct us, because it is like a practice test, right? We are not really directly serving the Lord. We are serving the devotee, and ultimately they engage us in the service of the Lord. They smash our false ego. Now, one of the root cause of our existence in this material world is our false ego. All of us have some or the other kind of false ego. And when we serve the pure devotees, they smash our false ego. Some devotees do it in a direct way, very direct, which is very hard to take for some people. And some pure devotees do it in indirect ways. But all of them, they smash our false ego. Serving devotees gives us the taste of how it would be like living with Krishna and his devotees in Golok Vrindavan. So again, as I said, it's like a practice test. And the final point I want to make is that anyone who cannot cooperate with other devotees would basically be a nuisance in the spiritual world, right? If the Lord gives us entry into the spiritual world and we are not able to cooperate with other devotees in the spiritual world, we would just create disharmony there. We would be a nuisance. So to make sure that people who enter the spiritual world are actually eligible to be there, have to serve the pure devotees in the material world and prove their worth. Just like the example I was giving of a driving test, we have to first pass that exam to prove our worth that we can actually drive on the roads. So that is the value and importance of serving the pure devotees of the Lord. So I'll end here. If I have made any mistakes, please forgive me. And if I have spoken some things which are beneficial and useful, all the credit for that goes to my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, the entire Guru Parampara, and the Lord. So thank you very much, everyone. If you have any comments, suggestions, corrections, or questions, then please you can speak. Very detrimental. And to even think that the Guru is gone in itself is a mistake. Be as strict and determined as we are in the presence, physical presence of the Guru. And that's where we start falling down. So thank you for asking that question, Prabhu. Actually, definitely it is very, very detrimental. And we should be aware that the Guru never goes. The Guru is a spiritual entity. So he never goes, he just physically disappears, but he's always there watching us. So it is a grave mistake to think that the Guru is gone and maybe we can relax and do some things that we could not do in the physical presence of the Guru. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Prabhu, for asking that question.
So much. A very big round of applause for him. He was a very good presentation. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So please hang on for a moment. We have a very special announcement from our temple council. So Radhanaman Prabhu will be making the announcement.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uddhava Prabhu, for such a wonderful class. And like he said, the devotees of the Lord are very, very special people. And I am going to make a very special appeal to all of you. Some of you might know that the owner of the land next door, that would have some kind of impact on how we carry on our services here in the temple. So there is a survey which is available. We would request you to kindly participate in that survey. The results of the survey will be evaluated by the older woman, who is a very nice lady and very supportive person. So kindly, look at the survey, answer it. If you don't have the access, you can check with some of the temple devotees. They will be able to assist you with that. One request while you are doing the survey, that please be respectful and sensitive in answering your questions. Sometimes while doing it, we become very, we want to express our emotions, because the prayers of the devotees are so powerful that the Lord will answer them. So please pray to Kishore Kishori that our services here continue the way they have been. This temple has been here for so many years, and all of us have really benefited from it a lot, and we would like to continue to do that. So thank you so much. The last day to answer the survey is Friday. So you have about 4 or 5 days to do that. Please help us out with it. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I have to come closer to you, Prabhu. Simple survey, answering simple questions. And like Prabhu said, there will be a question like, do you support this proposal? Prashadam is ready for you outside. Thank you so much for being here this Sunday evening. We look forward to seeing you next week. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna, one more quick announcement. The survey link will be sent to you in the email communication that you get from the temple or the WhatsApp group if you are already there. So in a day or two, you should get the link for the survey. Hare Krishna.